Hello everyone, and welcome to GuildGab episode 16. This is a show where we talk about anything and everything Guild Wars 2. It has been a while. The last episode was our Halloween episode where we were all dressed up. It has actually been almost a month. I didn't think it had been that long. But it has.
Oh, time goes quickly.
It does. We'll be dead soon. To my left is Akasaurus Rex. And below me here is Corvus.
Hi.
Might be Alex Corvus. It's still Corvus. Because we still do not have an Alex. We have not covered anything on the second half of season 2, so we've got a little bit of catch up to do today, as well as talk about the trailer for Seeds of Truth that just came out. Which is crazy speculation, and I was completely wrong in my reaction video. I didn't even consider the fact that it could have been a flashback, and we'll be able to. That's what it looks like to me. Is that we'll be able to? Well, not to me. To the people on the internet who are much smarter than me have said that it is probably a flashback where we will get to learn about Keith's past.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
That would be hopefully. Sorry, I'm starting to go in a bit of a personality, at the moment. My pirate on it for some reason.
All right, so should we start? Let's see. Should we start with this trailer, and then we'll kind of backtrack a little bit through the episodes, and
which is thematic actually, because if the trailer's going a flashback, then we're back in time in the podcast meta.
So, what do you guys think about this concept of us experiencing firsthand Keith's past and her involvement with the Nightmare Court and Foul Lane and the Asura doing experiments on the Silverwastes? What?
Yeah, I was really kind of. Sorry, yeah, Corvus, you
I was just gonna say I was really glad that it wasn't like most of the other trailers where half of it's just a recap of the last patch and stuff like that. Yeah. And there was a lot to see in this one. And yeah, it's going to be really good if it is a flashback, which I'm pretty sure it will definitely be that. It'd be really good to see, it's been said a few times, I think, about the Azura experiment on Silvari when they first appeared, just to find out stuff about them because, Azura are like. But it's going to be cool to see what they actually did. It looked quite sad. I mean, like a bunch of naked Silvaris.
We're like naked and shivering in like this cage, and one of them was actually like tied up and being experimented on, and it was like creepy.
Yeah, that's like the really kind of cool dark side there, is that because like the Asura are kind of feel that like comical little character race, but like this is showing that really dark side to those little gremlins. It's like.
Of course, this was the Inquest, right? The Inquest are the ones that did all the experiments on the Silvari, or who would be the future Inquest. Yeah,
because that's the thing, is that I don't think like the Inquest was like really invented
established
at that point. So it's like a kind of more of like overall Asura society was like fine to do these like crazy ass looks like really painful experiments on these like sentient beings.
Do you think Do you think possibly Keith was one of them that got experimented on?
Quite possibly.
Maybe she's the one that's actually tied up there that's going...
I don't think it is. I watched the trailer again, and I think it's one with like a spiky...
Oh, right. Okay.
Maybe it was even Foul Lane. I'm not sure. Of course, we don't know what these experiments did to them. It could have changed their body chemistry. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm wondering... Obviously, at least, God, I'm praying that we're going to find out whatever Keith's big dark secret is, because we've been told over and over that she has a secret. And I'm wondering now if it actually has directly to do with the experiments that the Asura did, because there's just been wide speculation on what this dark secret could be, and perhaps it was some kind of corruption by them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a couple of scenes with Keith and Fallon together and stuff, so it's obviously before any bad thing happened between them. And I think I saw a couple of people on Reddit speculating that the person you see that's kind of tied up and screaming or whatever would be Fallon before she turned to the Nightmare. So it could have been something to do with those experiments that, I don't know, maybe led some of the Silvari to fall into the nightmare or something like that. Like, it's going to be quite interesting to see the impact that those kind of things had. And whether Kate's secret could be tied to that is another thing. I mean, maybe she kind of endorsed it or helped them somehow or something. I mean, it has to have quite a big, it has to have quite a big impact on her character and stuff. I don't know.
Because that's true. If it was just the fact that she was experimented on, well, that wasn't her fault. But if she like helped them or, like you said, endorsed it in some way, then that would be a pretty big thing. Like maybe these experiments they did took a big part in creating the Nightmare Court, and perhaps Kaith had something to do with that. So in maybe an indirect way, Kaith was the one that created the Nightmare Court.
Well, that's it. Like, I mean, as well, like this upcoming patch is called Seeds of Truth, so
I was so happy when I just saw the word truth. I was like, that has to mean that we actually
her secrets
get an answer of some sort.
Answers this time. Yeah, so
well,
I don't know. She stole the egg as well, and I'm really wondering why, and whether we're going to learn this patch, or maybe they're saving that for the finale or something, and whether it has any relevance to what we saw in the trailer and what we might see this patch.
Because we didn't see like current Kaith or the egg in the trailer, except for the recap of her stealing it. So I don't even think we're going to see it in this episode.
Me neither.
And that kind of, with this being the second to last episode in the season, it really makes me think that the big finale is going to be the egg hatching. Rather than, I was always thinking it was going to be like Mordremoth rising or something like that, but I'm much more kind of down to earth now. Okay, maybe we'll just see the dragon egg hatch, and maybe I want to know why this egg, this dragon or whatever, it is the key to defeating the Elder Dragons, because that is what the Master of Peace said. He said this egg is the key to defeating the Elder Dragons. Okay. That blew me away.
Quaggan said at the end of episode 2, he was talking, the Glint, they were hoping that Glint would basically become an Elder Dragon, like ascend to become an Elder Dragon, right? So I think, it's safe to assume that the plan would be to have, Glint's new baby or something turn into an Elder Dragon as well, maybe take Zaitan's place, consume the magic he's left around so none of the others get stronger, and that way we would have like an ally in it. But I mean, I can't see this next patch actually holding much relevance to it, because I don't know, people have been saying that maybe she's stolen the egg to kind of save the Pale Tree from being injured and stuff, but I don't understand how that would even work. Glint was a minion of Krokotoric. This is a totally different thing to the Pale Tree and the Silvari. I can't like see it fitting together.
My only speculation, but I just don't think that's a good one. I think that would be kind of boring.
See, I mean, that's what I thought, maybe, because I was thinking reasons why she would steal it, and I still don't know why.
I still have no clue.
I doubt this episode that's coming is going to really show us why either. If it's to do with her and following the Nightmare Court and the Inquest, that's still not much to do with why she would want the egg. So unless it's just she's delivering it to Fowlin or something like that, or delivering it to the Nightmare Court and secretly she's been part of this all along, or
right.
I just don't know.
I hope that they do give some solid answers though for this.
They have to. They have to. I can see this episode being just encompassed in itself. Like, there's a beginning. We start out, learning Kaith's story, and then there's an end. There's the end. There's the reason that we went through this vision.
Yeah.
There's the reveal. There was the door at the end with the symbol on it. So the door opens and we see the secret or whatever it is. It's got to be its own little thing, and then whatever that secret is, like you said, is part of the reason that she's doing this, that she took the egg. It's got to be.
Yeah, because that last part with like the good centaurs and that mysterious like doors opening with those weird symbols, like that's the part that's got me really intrigued, because that seems like that's like the clincher, like the main thing. Like we'll go back to see these interesting scenes of the Asura being, like, nasty and experimenting in those flashbacks, but then it's leading to this confrontation of going back into the desert thing, possibly dry top, I guess.
I read.
Well, those markings on the wall that you saw towards the end, they were leaked, I think, by that shaman on Reddit as well, a while back, but they looked totally different. I think
I saw
before
that too.
They were the ones to do with Ascension and stuff like that from Guild Wars 1, but now the markings look quite different. So I don't know whether that's got anything to do with anything, but they showed it off, so I think there should be something to do with that in this patch. They wouldn't have showed it off otherwise. So that's another thing. I don't know how that's going to work.
I read a speculation saying that was maybe where we were going to see a flashback of the cave where Ronan found the seed of the pale tree.
I think a lot of people are thinking that as well, but it's kind of a strange place. I mean, granted, it's 250 something years in the future from then, but
so maybe
it doesn't feel like a special place he would find them. Do you know what I mean?
Right. You would imagine this like crystal grove, like this with plants, but it was like in the middle of the desert. It looked like it was in Dry Top or the Silverwastes.
Exactly.
It didn't make any sense, and that couldn't have been a flashback because there was a Sylvari standing in front of it.
Yeah.
So that maybe that would have meant that we go there. It just doesn't make sense.
Unless we're just visiting it now or something.
Right,
but I really don't
reason?
know. But the symbols don't really match up with anything to do with that either, right?
Right.
So, because if it's say Mordremoth, then it was
it.
Exactly,
and that actually suggests the Forgotten.
Exactly.
Ooh, I'd love to see those guys come back.
Which is actually something that there's I heard a possibility of the Forgotten coming back into the story because they were the ones that know how to cleanse dragon corruption. They're the ones that cleansed Glint. So it's very possible that Kaith took the egg somewhere where she knows the Forgotten have gone so that they can protect it from dragon corruption. Maybe
that would be awesome.
They can put some kind of spell on it so that Mordremoth can't find it.
Yeah.
Please bring snake people back to me.
That would be a big surprise. We have not seen the Forgotten.
Most weight of the theories I've heard. Definitely, that sounds quite likely.
Yeah.
I can't imagine I really can't imagine it's the place where like the pale tree seed was found. I really can't, because that would the common theory is obviously that they're kind of minions of Mordremoth, right? So it would be like a big lair where he was growing his champions. So why would it have those markings on it?
Right.
You know, okay, they could be recent, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel right for it to be that, or really anything to do with the pale tree. I think the Forgotten are quite likely.
I would just love it if they became like a new playable race, because if any race is like good to fight the dragons, why not these guys? And it would also be unique for the franchise to have this trippy snake people race.
Yeah, that would
make me really happy.
Pretty cool. That it's funny as well because there's a lot of scenes with centaurs and stuff like that. And within 10 minutes of that trailer coming out, there were people on Reddit talking about how centaurs are going to be playable and stuff. And it's
where did that come from?
People are just jumping at anything at this point.
Yeah, I know. Anything, please, give us anything. Ooh, damn it, please. Or dang it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just really looking forward to it, but I really hope it has some relevance to the kind of overarching story right now. A flashback would be fine. It'd be really interesting, and it would give us loads of story and lore and reasons and all this stuff, and it would be really good, but I don't want them to have to throw everything at us in the final episode.
Right.
I think probably just because it's more likely then that we're not going to get a nice round-off finish, because they'll probably just leave it for next year or something like that. And also just because if they end up having to cut stuff short and they don't really finish off this kind of year of story off, I'll feel bad because last episode was so short and they could have surely thrown something else in there to carry it on or to add a bit of depth to stuff.
Yeah.
So I hope we get the flashback scene and we see the pale tree and we find out what's going on with Kaith, and then we also move further into Silverwastes or the kind of Maguma Wastes. And as well, the Silverwaste events are so good, but after 2 patches of farming for the new gloves and the luminescent ones and stuff like that, I'm just I want more to come out of that. Like, there's those lanes, and over the past, like, I don't know if you heard, but like as of today, the third and final big vine's been coming out, and they're
I saw that last night when I was playing. I was running around down towards the southwesternmost base.
Yeah, the amber
there's
one.
a giant vine right in front of it, so now there's
and they've
3
been
lanes and 3 giant vines.
Out.
It looks so cool.
Exactly, and they've been slowly rolling those out like stealth patches with more vines in it this time and stuff like that. So I really hope we get to go through that. Like, maybe you push the meta, you hold those things, you do the breach, and then you come out and that's cleared. Defeating the champions has maybe cleared the vines that are blocking the way, and you can see through it. And people have broken out of the map and gone like to the rooms beyond those lanes, and there's stuff there. There's also a lot of stuff underneath that we've not seen yet, like in the north east. There's like a gate that's blocking off, but you can see through it, and it looks like maybe like a Skrit camp, and it's basically directly below where the Skrit are around the corpse of that giant. And people have broken out and have gone into that little bit, and in that place there's a gate that leads further underground. And if you fall off the map, you can see all these little bridges and tunnels and stuff underneath the map. So there's so much still that we haven't seen in the Silverwastes. So they should roll that out. I reckon it's likely that all of the Silverwastes will be available to us by the end of the season. So, you know, we've got season 2, and that gave us 2 full new zones. I think that's kind of how it will be. I do want them in the future as well to add in zones that have hard quests and stuff again, because both Silverwaste and Drytop kind of just feel like big event kind of places. Like, it's only the overall meta event that you're taking part in, really. There's not like hearts, and it doesn't feel like an actual like location, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
They are just kind of expansion maps. Go ahead.
I was just kind of thinking, you know, what if because like it's very doubtful, just as you're saying, that like Mordremoth will finally rise at the end of the last episode.
That would be way too quick.
It kind of feels like maybe like that's something that they would do for an expansion-esque thing. Yeah. You know, it's like he arises, and then that will cause a seismic thing of some kind, and then that will be the expansion.
That's a good point, actually. I think I said it last episode as well.
To be a playable race. And,
yeah. I think I said it last episode, but there was that interview talking about like what happened when Zaitan rose and what happened when Jormag rose and all that stuff, and how it was a really big deal to the world when those things happened. So yeah, I think you're totally right. It would actually be really, really cool to see something massive like that lead into an expansion, like, you know, Mordremoth doing something massive. I don't know how it would work with him, because Zaitan flooded stuff. You know, Jormag pushed everyone south, and ice and all this stuff, corruption and stuff. Mordremoth is just gonna make flowers grow everywhere.
No, weeds
pop out. Yeah,
weeds.
Will be
that could be one reason that they put him way out in the Maguma Wastes, because if he does create crazy destruction when he rises, there's not a lot of civilization out there to begin with to mess up that we know of, unless we have a flood, unless there's a pale tree out there, and then we have a flood of Sylvari coming into the map.
Like evil Sylvari.
Right, but or some centaurs. Like, it's, you know, as far as we know, there's not like a race of people that lives out there. So, you know, the destruction that he causes by rising, maybe, you know, it could be kind of downplayed where it won't change the map that we know.
Yeah.
Because how would that work
that'd be a
with
shame.
an expansion?
They definitely. That's the thing. Like, what would they rework all of Tyria and maybe do like a pre-searing, post-searing thing?
And how
where
can you do that and
people
make it an expansion if then people who don't buy the expansion...
Yeah. So maybe the people without it live in Tyria now when everything's fine, and then whoever plays the expansion would be... I think it's just a lot of work, like, and I doubt they would do that. But it is kind of a shame, because you'd want Mordremoth Rising to be a really big event.
Right.
And they could easily downplay it and say that, yeah, he's there, but he kind of aimed it all this way, so it was fine for all of us.
Right.
But if you think that when Zaitan rose, it like sunk the battle isles and stuff like that, like way far south of Tyria, and it was like a really big deal, like to the world. It wasn't just really Tyria as a continent. Like, it'd be a shame for Mordremoth's Rising to not really be that much of a deal. Like,
Well, that's the thing is that, I mean, like, if he like rises out in like the Maguma Waste, then that could like affect some continent somewhere
that we don't know about.
Well, that's it. Exactly, that'd be really cool, actually. Yeah.
Which would then make us like come in contact with them. Like, for instance, like the sea outward from the Maguma jungle, maybe like the people over there would be affected, and then they're coming over saying, "Hey, what the hell happened?" And we're like, "Oh, hey, alligator people or something," you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. We don't really know anything. We don't know anything about anyone who would live over in that direction, really. Right. So playable races, they could totally go somewhere completely.
They could go a brand new race we've never even seen before, and just say that they came from way, way west.
Mm-hmm. Dinosaurs. So good. Velociraptors, please make my dreams come true. Bunch of like Riptors from Killer Instinct. That'd be so amazing. Oh man, I'd be so happy. I was gonna say something, but I can't remember. I would like never touch another video game again if they made playable Velociraptors. Just be like, nothing else exists.
Oh yeah, the vines and stuff. I think it was when we first went into Drytop, but I think it was like a centaur or something, or just an NPC that, or maybe it was in the story. I can't remember. But we were basically, I think it was implied that like the big vines weren't just vines that he'd made. It was actually like part of Mordremoth.
Oh really?
Yeah, something like that. Like it came directly from him. It wasn't just like things he had made grow. It was like, so I'm kind of
connected to it.
That's scary.
I don't know how to picture Mordremoth though. Kind of just like an octopus or something with all these
tentacled weed thing.
We need a proper Mordremoth back piece with like vines coming out, like that, that Dr. Octopus one, but with green vines.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
That'd be pretty.
Can we please have Maudry 2, or Maudry 3, or whatever? I have so much Dragonite ore. I do not know what to do with it. I'm filling up my alts. I'm filling up my bank. I'm up to. I bought more collection expanders. They were on sale a couple days ago. I'm up to 1,000. My stacks in my collections can go up to 1,000, and I still do not know what to do with all this Dragonite ore.
That's crazy, dude.
I don't have a bloodstone dust problem anymore.
See, I need to finish crafting Mordred, just because I'm running out of space as well. I've still got loads of bloodstone, but I'm nearly there, but I've not finished it yet. But I think that's a really cool idea. They need to make new uses for this stuff, you know, like it's making everyone annoyed. Even Imperial Fragments, I've got so many.
I've got so many of those too. Oh my gosh. And I got alts and my bank that's filled up with candy corn still, because I'm gonna hang on to it until the price goes back up, hopefully, because right before Halloween this year it was a silver a piece.
Yeah,
I've got about 50 stacks of candy corn right now. I'm going to be, in about a year, I'm hopefully going to be really rich.
Wow.
And Winter's Day is coming up, and who knows what that's going to drop. Oh my gosh.
That's true.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I love Winter's Day.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually really excited because Halloween and Winter's Day are always done really well, and they're really fun to just kind of bolster up the actual holiday of doing it, which that's something that Arena does so well with it, and certain other MMOs out there that have decided to skip on these holidays, which is such a bad idea.
Wildstar.
Certain one, Wild what? Yeah, it's like I don't know what the hell is wrong with those guys to do that on both. It's like Halloween and Winter, and Winter's Day. You're skipping out, and you guys are doing this badly. It's like, dude, like, it's like not. I mean, like Guild Wars 2 may have some issues that we've talked about, but they're good on the holidays, and I'm actually really looking forward to Valentine's Day, because I really love those love-struck weapon things. It'll be fun to see. And yeah, I'm cheesy romantic anyway, so I just really like that holiday. So
they're my favorite.
I hope Winter's Day doesn't go on for too long, though. I got really burnt out earlier this year, and it lasted a long time. Though, like I've said before, I think it was a lot to do with the fact that I was waiting for the finale of season 1. But yeah. Hopefully they have stuff to give us early next year, so it doesn't drag on for too long.
Yeah. They haven't even announced the season 3
or anything. Who knows? Oh my god!
Just like yeah, because like I am like so psyched to see what the hell they're gonna do after Winter's Day, because it's like they like don't have to worry about the Chinese release, which took a ton of their resources and dev time, and they don't have, and because they aren't doing that thing where like the 4 episodes of the last season are happening after Winter's Day. There's so much that they can have open. For an expansion-y-ish thing that everybody wants.
We've got 3 weeks till Winter's Day, I think, just about, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I think
so.
3 weeks.
Something like that.
Or yeah, I think it is something like that. And they can't really go into Winter's Day and not tell us when it's gonna finish and what's gonna happen afterwards. It would be a really silly move on them on their part. Like just to have us sitting there blind, not sure what's going on. So maybe we'll find out in the next 3 weeks or something like that whether there'll be a season 3 starting, when it will start.
Yeah, or a feature pack. Some people have thought maybe a January feature pack.
Yeah, that
sounds
right.
There's stuff they've been talking about doing. There's also that stuff with the PvP changes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're doing.
When are those
coming?
Being
able to vote on a map. They've not announced an official date, but they're rolling it out, I think, when Winter's Day starts, for like a trial for maybe a month or something like that, just to see how well it goes, stuff like that. So I guess that's something to keep people tied over as well throughout Winter's Day. But,
yeah,
they've not got long to really tell us what's going on, because like I said, it'd be really bad for us to just be playing that content, daily or whatever, and just not knowing when it's going to end and waiting every Tuesday. Maybe this will be the week that we find something out.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I'm sure they're going to announce something, but they haven't told us how long Winter's Day is going to, if it's going to be 2 weeks, if it's going to be a month. Now, Halloween only lasted 2 weeks, but they're in the middle of Living Story, so...
But they could have started Halloween a bit earlier in the break.
That's true.
But they chose to do it 2 weeks, so maybe it'll become like a tradition to have like the holidays for 2 weeks or something.
2 weeks of holidays, yeah. People are a lot busier around Christmas though, and New Year's. So I'm kind of hoping that they do a month. Did they do a month last year? Do you remember?
It must have been something like that. Went on for ages.
I know. I don't even remember. I remember last Winter's Day. I don't remember doing that much. I remember trying and failing at the jumping puzzle. And then I'm going to do it this year. I did the clock tower. I'm going to do the Winter's Day one this year. But gosh, I don't think I did the Toymaker Tix's workshop. I don't think I did that once last year. The first year I did it like crazy. I don't think I did that at all. But hopefully, even if Winter's Day is going to be like Halloween, it's going to be the same stuff. We're not going to really get a lot of new events
I think they said
or anything.
That it was going to be the same, yeah.
Yeah, but hopefully, like Halloween, we'll get a lot of new loot, a lot of new items, a lot of new rewards. Maybe rewards that we can trade in, like snowflakes or something for, or whatever the candy corn equivalent
ugly
was.
wool socks and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the socks and the sweaters and
Hopefully they'll have a new faces, because that's when they rolled them out.
I gotta go buy up a bunch of those from the trading
post.
That's
a good point actually.
Really
new faces and new hairstyles and stuff like that.
I hope so.
And there's the winter outfit as well that was leaked.
Yes.
Data mined and stuff, which looked really good.
I'm not too crazy about that leaked outfit.
Oh no! Hopefully it'll be available in game like they did at Halloween with the Hexed outfit.
I wonder.
So that'd be pretty good.
Or maybe they'll have a gem store version and then they'll have an in-game version. Hopefully.
That sounds like a smart idea for them to do more of that, so that things aren't always only.
People
on the
were
gem.
So happy that there was an in-game outfit.
I know.
They would be even if it's just a modified version.
Yeah.
People were still happy with that just because it was something they could actually earn.
Yeah, people loved it, so they would be really smart to do that again. Maybe a modified version of the other Winter's Day one we have. The dress, I don't know what it looks like on a male character, but which I am buying as soon as it comes out because I want that dress.
I like that they've done this system of having this whole new gear set to get over this season.
The luminescent armor, what do you guys think of that in the way that they're putting that into the game?
It's made me they went back and added an ascended accessory as a reward for the achievements and stuff like that, but I on my 3 level 80 characters, I've kind of got everything I need on them already, so it wasn't that interesting to me, especially because they were kind of new, really specific sets. Like the first half was the Nomad set, so those Ascended stuff were like super tanky, and really you just probably wouldn't use them apart from like for fun. And then the Sinister one as well, I don't really have any use for, but having the luminescent stuff require you to have all of the achievements done. It's made me actually bother doing the achievements again, because I mean,
you get a reward.
The first half,
there's a reward for doing the achievements again.
We complained about this all the way through the first half, and it was like there just wasn't much of a reason to do them anymore compared to last year, and now they've given us that, and it's really good.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying doing it.
And again, it's exactly what we said. It's you get the normal version just by playing it, but if you go a little further and do all the achievements, you can get the shiny version.
Exactly.
So it's exactly what we said. Yeah.
They've been listening.
I'm actually,
thanks.
I've like still only got the 180, but I really don't like the class, and so
Guardian, isn't it?
Yeah,
I do not like Guardian.
I just can't get into him, and it's I'm like using him just to play through the episodes, but it's like I'm like falling back in love with this like little Ellie that I've got, and I've been like trying to decide between a Warrior, Ranger, or Ellie, which one I want to actually make the main, and I've like given them all like the same new face and big main thing, and it's like just hard for me to choose, but I think I'm probably gonna be sticking with my Ellie just because I forgot how much fun it is to breathe fire and ice breath on everything. And it's just like, I really love
breathe fire
that.
with the Guardian,
but it's not as much fun. It's not
use
as
the
much
torch.
Fun. I know, but it's just not as much fun. It's not as much fun as fire and frost breath and all of Ellie stuff, and you can move fast as an Ellie, and I just
retreat.
You get to kill things a lot faster as well.
So.
Yeah. I love Ranger too. I'm glad you like it. No.
Rangers very much.
Oh wait, yeah. Corvus hates
Necromancers are the best. Okay, that's.
I do like my minion master. What kind of necro do you play?
Power, because minion master is stupid. So. I've been looking at the dates here, by the way. So next week's the patch, like episode
7.
7. So that's the second. 2 weeks after that is the 16th, which would be the finale patch, right?
Right.
But I'm looking at a blog post from like a month or so ago, and the 16th is also when Winter's Day starts.
It's Winter's Day, yeah.
So they're both on the same day, so it doesn't really give us an indication of how long it would be or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That it means that we're gonna have a lot to do though that day, which is really good.
December 16th is gonna be a busy day, yeah. And I really don't think that they're going to like integrate Winter's Day with the Living World, because that's just enclosed in Lion's Arch. That's just a fun thing, especially because there's not going to be anything new. There's not going to be like a new quest. It's just going to be the same party that they always have, basically. So I don't think they're going to try and like connect them in any way.
Mm-hmm. But it will just be really good having so much to do. Actually,
that's awesome. That's a big day.
Did you guys want to talk about the boss fight in Maze in this last pack?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we
had some opinions on those. So.
the first fight in this patch,
entangled paths with the Mordremoth boss.
Yeah, that was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was like a big Terragriff guy, and it was just really good.
I was like freaking out the whole time because it was like it was flying around and it like swoops down and like dive bombs you, and then it's like stampedes around the room and charges at you. A lot of new mechanics that were just fun and just like with the sound effects and the visuals, it was just really fun.
I love the sound of his feet stamping around when he does like the stampeding around. It's like, that's kind of cool. You can hear him going dum 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 dum. It's like, whoa, that's really cool. And then he just
the noises he made were so good. His like weird roars and screams and stuff. Yeah. They were so cool. The sound design on this patch was really awesome.
Yeah,
I really just enjoyed the boss fight. Well. Yeah, the design of him was really good as well. It was annoying as well because he was immune to basically like I play power necro, right? So I'm not focusing that much on. I'm not focusing on conditions too much apart from like CC ones, and he was basically immune to everything. So Yeah, but it was really fun, and it was like the first fight in PvE that I've had in ages that's really made me like panicky and like, oh my god, I need to kill this guy. Like, I get that a lot in like PvP, or if someone ambushes you in World of World or something like that. But in PvP, PvE, it doesn't really happen that much, and so it was really, really exciting and fun having that.
Like
the second, sorry, Andy, go. No, Andy, go.
Oh no, you can go.
Well, I was going to talk about the kind of actual final boss. So
okay, well, I'll just like jump in quick then on this, because I was talking about the first one, but this I like how and it's a definite juxtaposition to the guy that you're going to talk about next, but how like that fight with that dragon, it's a great venue on how like a lot of people often disparage how that you kind of need the old trinity of like a tank healer DPS thing to properly get proper experiences. But the thing I liked, and this is one of the original reasons why I got drawn to Guild Wars 2 in the first place, because I wanted to do something different, is that fight with that dragon shows what you can do if you don't have that trinity thing, and especially if you don't even try to use any of those kinds of mechanics. Is that the thing I loved about that dragon fight, is that it's sort of like a console fight with a boss, where it's like you don't need all those stuff. You just have a fun fight, and you're like, oh, he's doing this, okay, get back, or oh, he's doing that, he's doing this. Now we go into fight, and then we go back and stuff.
Right.
It just makes
it's not like you're just standing there targeting this one guy, standing still, casting spells or attacks or anything. It was like full on. It was like playing a Zelda game or something, where you've got all these different mechanics and stuff to do. It was really, really good. It was a really, really good boss fight. And I played through the final step of the personal story with one of my guildies the other day, and there was the Mouth of Zaitan you fight there as well. He does that thing where he breathes in, you have to throw a bomb into him to like stun him and stuff like that. So I think they get from before launch, they've had like influence from a lot of like more console style boss fights and stuff like that, and it's really cool to see them implement that a lot more in the living world. I mean, the marionette fight and stuff was really cool, and I think like most of their events have really cool mechanics like that. It's not just a kind of standstill and
See, now I thought the final boss in Tangled Paths, for me, I don't know if it was a glitch, he got stuck or something, but most of that fight for me, he just kind of stood there while the NPCs tanked him, and I was just swinging away with my scepter, and just I was like, okay, he's
totally
going down.
I mean, I just changed my build up as well, so I just like melted him down and and the thing is as well, I saw him, as you walk up the kind of path towards that room, I saw him standing there, and I was like, oh man, because I'd obviously had the previous boss fight, and I was like, this has to be like
this is
amazing,
gonna be epic, this is gonna be so cool.
It just wasn't that great.
No.
It wasn't bad, but I kind of feel like they should have switched the bosses. So you had that guy in the cave, and it was like, and then the final one was a really
boss fight.
Cool,
yeah,
it just would have been so good. But oh well.
I just kept on like waiting for my Charzuka to like come off the cooldown, and it's like, okay, and we just got things so damn fun.
See, but they had to have the creepy stabby one in the cave, because he had to stab the Zephyrite and throw her across the room.
Exactly. Yeah,
right. Was
that was really good.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was a pretty crazy one, man. And I also felt, it's funny too, because like or when I was like watching your like let's play of it, you like found Casimir first.
I found Marjorie first.
And then Casimir, right? Well, was it Marjorie then Casimir? Because Casimir does this thing where she lights everything up.
She lights it up, yeah.
And I got her last, so I was collecting everybody when it was like total darkness.
Jeez.
And it was really, and that was the thing that I both liked and hated that maze, because it was so freaking dark all the time, and the only light was like one of those like little like puppies and weird things was kind of running up at you. It's like green light. It's like crap, and it's like you like hear them howling and running.
On points of interest, Teddy said that that maze was originally twice as dark as that. Before you got Casimir, I'm like, you wouldn't have been, like, you would have just been wandering around in the dark. You would have had to use the mini map. Literally, like, you would have had to be navigating using the mini map.
Just turn the brightness up on your monitor. Or something. Like. Oh yeah, the maze, like the labyrinth section of Silverwaste, but like just in the open world. Have you guys played that?
I just did that for the first time last night. Pac-Man. Everybody's calling him Pac-Man.
I was really surprised by how fun I found that.
It was really fun.
Which part was that? Sorry.
It's like after in the Silverwaste, like just in the open world, if after you kind of complete the event and you defeat the champions at the end, you can go into the labyrinth and you basically run around while like all of those little green wolf dudes are chasing you.
And they kill you instantly.
And they kill you instantly if they get you, but you get like a power-up that transforms you into like a little glowing thing, and you can stun them, but obviously it's only for like a short amount of time, and then you have to find another place to turn it into one and stuff like that. But you basically go around collecting, it's like Essence of Nightmare or something like that, I think it's called, and it's
they're these like little chest type things.
Yeah, like pod type
you go
things.
around, these pods, and you go around, and each one has like a piece of a key or a lesser key, I forget what they call it, and then you need 25 of those. Once you get 25, you combine it with a skeleton key, and then you get like a big skeleton key or whatever it's called, and then you go into if you can actually get into the middle of the labyrinth and there's a big chest that gives you like 3 champion bags and rares and all kinds
and it
of
can
stuff.
Drop I think it can drop like boxes with the gloves and the shoulders in it, and it also has recipes for like sharpening stones and stuff like that, like new ones that they added this patch and stuff like that. So it's quite good. It's just a fun little mini game, but it's quite like Pac-Man with little guys chasing you around and stuff. I was thinking, I don't know if it's just because I'm really interested in the lore and stuff like that, but I was like, why are we doing this? Like in terms of the lore, like just to get loot. Like it's not really
loot. It's just about the loot. Sometimes it's about the loot.
But yeah, no, it was pretty fun that. But the whole of this episode was like I can't say I was disappointed. Like I was it was short, and I think that's the biggest disappointment. That's not really like a bad thing to do with the patch, because it just means I wanted more and stuff like that. And all of the sections of it were really fun, but I was genuinely surprised when it ended, just because I was like, oh, what's going to happen next? Or what are we going to do? We're going to go after Keith. And it was like, nope.
Nope, that's the end.
That's the end.
Did you see it coming with Keith stealing the egg?
Yeah, I have to say I did. I mean, I think that's just because I was really suspicious of her anyway. I'd kind of different things like the message Scarlet left on, I think, the blueprints for the spinal blades and stuff like months ago, which was like, talking about how it was just like her talking to Keith saying that, one day you will see that Tyrion needs me, I think she said. And it just made this huge connection in my mind, that something weird's going on if they know each other, right? We've not really seen them talk to each other ever, but Scarlet knew Keith apparently, stuff like that. And so I'd always been like about Keith, like I just thought something was up, and then the fact that in the start of this episode she kind of follows you around like from a distance, and you kind of see her.
She was being a creeper.
And just the way like her script as well was really like, it just seemed like something was up. They did that really well. Like it just gave off that vibe that something was going on, and then she stole it. So I was like, oh.
I knew something was up during the final boss fight when she was just standing there and not helping.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, she's going to steal it. She's going to steal it. She's going to steal it. I knew it.
I was just like, remember feeling kind of like really shocked. Like I was more shocked that it just ended after that than Keith actually doing that. I was kind of like, oh, really? Oh.
Time to do some achievements.
Jesus.
I think like it just made me it made me really excited for this next patch, because I think if this one was short, it means that they're gonna have a really big long stint that they couldn't have split up in any way to put half of it in this patch or something like that. It's just gonna be a big thing next time. So it just made me really hyped for it. And I'm just looking forward to seeing how they resolve stuff and why she did it and finding more stuff out. And I'm kind of disappointed that I'm assuming that like it'll end on the dragon hatching and stuff. It'd be cool to see a baby dragon, but I kind of like Scarlet. We killed Scarlet right at the end of season 1, and that was like a good ending because we did it. But then they gave us that Mordremoth kind of cutscene at the end of it, which was like, oh my god, right, okay, so there's more to come. And I guess they could show us the dragon hatching, so that'd be the good ending. And so to keep everyone hooked in like a cliffhanger, they'd have to show us something else, like something big and bad, maybe. But would they really end season 2 in a similar way that they did season 1, with just Mordremoth doing something else this time? Yeah. Last year he opened his mouth.
Now he opens his eyes.
Now he opens his eyes. Next year he opens his nostrils, and
yeah, that's very true. I actually didn't even consider that, thinking of how epic the ending of season 1 was, and how kind of final it was. Like, this is something we had been working for all season, is to kill Scarlet, and we finally did. So it was this satisfying finale, but at the same time we got this amazing teaser that just kept our interest and kept our hearts pumping, like, oh my god, I cannot wait. And how can they not end season 2 on something equally as big? But at the same time, we're chasing Mordremoth, we're doing all this stuff in season 2, but there's not like a clear, like, this, the finale is when we do this. There's not a clear one of those. There's not a clear objective this season. Like a single objective.
I guess, our main objective right now is to get the egg back off Keith, but we still don't really know what to do with it, apart from just to talk to the pale tree or something. I can't remember what we were told to do.
Right.
So it's, I don't know, like we're pushing into the Maguma Waste, but it's kind of like we're in a war, right? So we're just kind of pushing forward, and there's no, as much as we know we're gonna kill Mordremoth at some point, it's not like it's a realistic goal like this season, or it's not like an objective at this point. We're just trying to get our footing in his region, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's true enough, like, we've not really got a definite goal apart from just getting the egg back, which we'll do, but that's not really fitting for a finale.
I feel like it's like a D&D campaign where there's not a big bad enemy that you're trying to, I mean, there's Mordremoth, but at the same time, I kind of feel like there's campaigns where you're like, okay, we are going towards this castle, and then we are going to make our way to the top, and we are going to slay the bad guy. I feel like it's like, okay, well, let's go over here and see what happens.
Yeah, totally.
And let's go over here and see what happens. Let's talk to this person, see what they say. It's like,
it's not like a bad thing, because we're learning loads of different things.
Right.
And we've got like a big spread of stuff, like going into the stuff with Glint and all this stuff, and now we're going to be checking out what happened with, Keith and the inquest or whatever, and we've kind of got a really nice big spread on different topics that they could give us. But and then there's the stuff with the All and the Eternal Alchemy stuff, and then there's I don't know, it's just, and while it's good, like, because we're getting loads of stuff, or at least they're kind of either answering questions from all over the place, or they're kind of delving deeper into mysteries all over the place. It's a shame because it doesn't really, like you said, like, feel like we've got a objective, like there's a big thing happening and we're doing stuff to do with it. Like,
because we don't know how, like, Mordremoth's not sitting in his castle that we can physically go to and slay him, or it's like I keep thinking like, okay, with Scarlet we knew we had to get to Scarlet and kill her, and it's kind of the same thing where we know we have to get to Mordremoth and kill him, but doesn't seem as simple. It's like, it's not just like, okay, our little Destiny's Edge 2.0 can go and slay him. No, we need all of Tyria, and it just seems so big and so grand that sometimes I feel like my character is so small in the scheme of things, so small.
And that's the thing, like, the thing is, we're definitely going to do that. Like, that's our big objective, I guess, at the moment, is to kill Mordremoth. But in terms of season 2, and what we're going to accomplish before the season ends, there's nothing apart from just getting the egg back. And I think that's a really disappointing... I mean, it'd be good, and to see it, and if it hatches, that'd be really cool as well. I'm not complaining at all, but I just think they could do something big, like something really big, but I don't know what that could be, really.
Unless the theory is true that it hatches, and it's Glint herself. Reborn!
That would be something really special. That'd be amazing. It's like, oh yeah, well, the Shatterer respawns every hour, so Glint, it's just respawned,
Just respawning.
I had this theory where during during Edge of Destiny, the novel, there was some kind of behind-the-scenes meeting between Kaith and Glint that we didn't see, that she said, if I perish in this battle, will you, I'm going to leave behind an egg that is the key to reviving me. You need to get it and take it here and whatever. Maybe take it to the Forgotten because that door had the snakes on it. So, take me here. The Forgotten will know what to do.
That'd be really cool.
And then we get to revive her. And so Kaith goes, no time to explain all of this, that I had this secret meeting with Glint that nobody saw behind the scenes. And then she's reborn. I think that would be amazing.
I would love to see it if Ritlock actually came back for the end of season 2 with like some kind of big revelation.
Yeah,
there's that too. Ritlock, what's going on?
That's another damn mystery we've got going on.
That could be the finale. Ritlock comes back from the mists and reveals all the secrets. Yeah,
open the egg. Glint flies out. Mordremoth stands up.
Let's
and then
make an
it says
omelet.
expansion coming.
Well,
that's what's gonna happen.
I really like the idea of Ritlock having been blinded for some way. Like he's like not just like wearing that like thing on his eyes because of like a storm or something, but if he actually has become some kind of like blind prophet type thing, and his character is just totally changed, and he like comes back with totally new energy, and he's like a totally new kitty cat, and he's just like got like
it's interesting
new
as well,
ideas and changes, and he's like
you're not able to like gaze upon the gods, right? I mean, Malkor did that and threw himself off a cliff. I don't know, like, and so what was it Ritualist that basically wore the blindfolds and stuff like that because they did, they channeled it, but they didn't have eyes or something. They kind of decided to be blind and hide themselves from that stuff because they could use
world.
Yeah, it was all like spiritual and stuff. So maybe Ritlock going to the mists, maybe he's come across one of the gods who have just disappeared. Maybe that's where they're chilling out or something like that. Like I heard that theory. But that'd be interesting as well, just because he's a Char, and I don't know how he would react if he met like a human god.
Right.
Exactly. That's what would be so cool is if he like comes back not like hating the gods, but not also like worshiping them, but coming back as a totally changed Char, as a totally different like mindset now. And
because I mean
he's like got powers or some kind of ability that can help.
Because he's not going to worship them or anything, but he might have like a newfound respect for them or something.
We got hints and echoes of the past about. There was a book that said something about the gods, and are they really gods?
Gods, because give anyone that power. And, say they'll live forever or something.
And then Ritlock could be the kind of person, or the kind of, he's a Char. So if he actually meets the human gods, he's not going to start bowing to them and praising them. No, he's going to see them for what they really are. He could say, you are these powerful beings. Yeah. Maybe could you come back and
where the hell
help us? What if Ritlock comes back from the mists, trailing all 6 of the human gods with him?
Exactly, yeah.
Saying, let's fight Mordremoth.
Exactly.
That would be incredible.
Power team, go!
Oh my god.
That would be amazing. That would be awesome.
I like it. That's my new favorite theory.
Yeah.
And then the humans' minds just explode. They're just like, what?
Mind beep. Wow. Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that would be like so amazing to see like Ritlock being like the herald of the gods coming out.
Oh my god.
I mean, including the gods just throws in even more like kind of mysteries and options and stuff like that. I mean, there's the stuff like with the Scepter of Or that's just hanging around. There's the whole Anise and
still
Livia
think Anise is Livia.
Exactly. So
what
that's
is
another
Canuck
thing
doing? He's like infiltrating the pact. It's like what?
Yeah.
And then there's this whole storyline.
There's the stuff with Tahathan and Magdir and the whole Ascalon curse thing. Like, is that gonna get sorted out or what? Like, there's just so much, and they're definitely not gonna be able to sort this all out in the next 3 weeks.
I know, it's like they're...
there's a lot of stuff that could
choose one of them, like bringing Ridlock back, which would be great, as like a blind
maybe
prop.
They're setting stuff up for expansion or a new campaign, or maybe season 3 is going to be incredible and just all over the place and sorting all of these different things out, or maybe they're just setting stuff up that we're going to have to wait years to find out about. I don't know. I hope not.
I know.
I really hope not.
I just hope they bloody well tell us, like, after the end of this.
Yeah, if that's their plan, then just let us know.
Oh, yes.
More. Stop teasing. Stop beat teasing us so much, man. It's like, this is crazy. It's like, you got fans that love you, but man, you know, like, come on. Give a little more. But yeah, I'm hoping that like Brimstone will come back at the end of.
I hope so too now, because that's.
Oh, there was.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying what it was. Oh no, I've lost it. Doesn't matter. It was just to do with the voice that you heard in Glint's Lair, and I think people were saying, because there was a whole thing. Like, I think there was people theorizing that maybe Snaf wasn't dead because his mind was still inside Crocotargus or something like that. Remember, because in the book he kind of transferred his mind across. Oh, God, there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember. It was more relevant than that, but.
I totally agree about the voice, though. When I first heard it, and people were saying, "Oh, that's Glint," like that was this deep, dark, brooding, mysterious voice. The last thing I thought of was Glint. I don't know. That's a whole different can of worms. I have no idea.
Maybe she's got a deep voice. She is a dragon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's
who gave him the egg? That's another mystery that people have kind of brushed over. But then maybe it was, Ogden or something that was saying it, and it was just distorted. His voice was it being, a hologram or something.
Yeah.
This is like the second time.
But it came from above, and he caught it.
I know.
Like it floated down to him.
This is like the second time like a major lore character that knows a lot got killed off, and like.
Who is E as well? Oh my God!
Without like,
I'm screaming about
Scarlet
but
and the Master of Peace.
And shoot! Now I had something and I lost it. There's too much. There's so many loose ends. It's like,
I liked how there was a book in like the library that it was Arena kind of blatantly and kind of like lore-wise saying that the gods and the dragons are not connected.
Yeah.
That was just really kind of funny. It's like this book saying there are some that have thought.
Yeah. Some that think so.
They're not. Okay. People stop saying they're connected. They ain't. Just stop it.
Oh, man. There's just so much.
I would love it if we finally find out who the heck Bubbles is, because I want something with like an ocean dragon rising from the deeps and stuff. And then Bubbles can fight Mordremoth and they can both rise in an epic expansion, and then we just all get caught in the middle. We're like, whoa! Like plant versus ocean.
There's so many things they need to kind of wrap up. But I mean, it makes sense for them not to, just because it's an MMO and they want to carry plot along over the years and stuff. But the fact that it's all come out in this season, or a lot of the stuff has happened in this season, you can't not think it's relevant somehow. And I think it's stuff I just really want to know the answers to.
Yeah. It's not super relevant, but I remember what I thought of. That I'm really glad that there was an NPC that mentioned Gloss, the dragon at the end of, or not Gloss. That's Glint. Glimmer. They mentioned Glimmer, the dragon at the end of at Eye of the North. Gleam.
That's it.
I think, yeah. Something. They finally gave it a
Yeah.
name, and they finally mentioned it, because people were saying, where is this dragon? She already has a baby dragon that we protected in Eye of the North. Where is that dragon? And even though they kind of just said, well, we have no idea, it just kind of disappeared. I
thought that was weird, though, as well, because
but at least
they kind of
mentioned it.
They mentioned it, yeah, for sure. But I just thought it was strange as well, because it kind of seemed like, because I think it was Aerie you're talking to at that point, and she kind of brushed it off, saying, well, those are stories. We have no reason to believe they're even true. And I was like, what? You can't just do that. You can't just say stuff like that. But I mean, it makes sense because it's 100 years in the past, and
yeah, it's all legend and
and myths and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they did that as well, because a lot of people were like, yeah, but where's that? Like,
yeah, it was constant. Like, well, what about this? What about this? And they're like, here, okay? They don't know where it is.
Stop asking.
Stop asking.
And also, they like also kind of like they've also kind of like put to rest the like demands for a Tengu as a playable race, just because they've
like stuff in the book.
Yeah, because the book, if anyone hasn't read it, it's like the Tengu basically state that their philosophy against fighting the dragons is, well, you guys can go up and die against them. We're going to run away. And it's like, that's like part of their culture. And if that's part of their culture, they're most likely never going to come out behind those walls and do kumbaya with the rest of the races. They're going to be like, we've been teasing you, but nope. We ain't going to kill ourselves over these dragons. You can do it.
Yeah.
So you can fight the tornado. I'm not.
If they're kind of off the table for a playable race, and they Arena have said, like, handful of times now that since launch that they're definitely going to be bringing new races at some point. Who are the contenders, really? Because Tengu were like the main. A lot of people want like Kodan or something, but that's unlikely just because they, there's not enough distinguishing kind of features between different Kodan.
I like really want the Forgotten, just because like if you have like a purely reptilian race, there's a lot of things you can do with them, with like hornlets, color, size, and all kinds of stuff. And
I just think that their lore won't allow them to be a playable race, because they're this mysterious kind of like to themselves, race, and I don't think that making us able to control them, like we're going around farming the Silverwastes, would make much sense for the Forgotten. I really
they'd have to make any new races be able to wear all of the armor that's out already.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It would be very difficult to.
Snake
and same
pants.
with outfits and stuff. Yeah, exactly. It'd be really, really weird.
Snake pants armor.
I still like the idea of Mordremoth rising and forcing some race we've never seen before from way west over to us, and that'll be
oh man, if they made Quaggan playable, though, cool if you seen their tiny little armor sets and stuff like that, it'd be so cute. Trying to hold
Quaggan
a great
pants.
sword.
Quaggan warrior. I smack you. Or it would be kind of like funny if they introduced like a werewolf dog race, just so you could have like Char and they could have this like dog race.
That'd
just so cool. Yeah,
that would be really kind of cool. They'd be like, cats and dogs, kind of.
I never even thought of that. The thing is,
so cool.
I kind of see them not doing that, just because I think the Char are the least played race.
Yeah, they are definitely.
It's ridiculous.
Plus, it'd be another race that they'd have to develop armors that actually worked with tails and stuff like that, and they obviously don't.
But they already have the Char, so if they did do, but at the same time, then they could do something similar, because then they could just make it so that it easily fits Char, kind of like Norn and Human, like that, and even Sylvari, like that's easy. Whereas if you have to develop it for the Char, then you could just throw it on this other race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I think like the Tengu still like would be such a good idea, just because I guess their positioning's fairly similar to the Char and kind of a bit bent forward, like top heavy kind of characters, and they're bipedal as well, so it would work well with existing armor sets. It's weird. And there's an NPC in Caledon Forest that tells you that, the Tengu do loads of different things, like some of us are warriors and some of us are hunters or rangers or this kind of thing, and it's like it'd be a shame if they weren't.
Yeah. Maybe they are going to be, and maybe a Mordremoth find comes up right in the middle of their civilization, right there next to Lion's Arch, and they're forced to join us to fight Mordremoth.
Yeah, because that would be a really cool stance as well. Because I mean, every race has their own, especially the Char has like their pride in the North as well. But it would be really cool seeing their dynamic with other NPCs and in the story, because they'd be resenting the fact that they're there and taking part in this.
I think that would be interesting.
Like, it's my calling to kill an Elder Dragon. They're like, I just want to run away, man. I just don't want to be here, man.
There's nowhere for us to run to anymore.
and they're also heavily Japanese, which is kind of cool too.
It'd be a really cool style. And I don't know, like just the character creation screen. I probably spent hours on that, just looking at all the different colors of colors and that.
Because there's so many designs you can do with a bird race. Because of with the feathers and colors and beak styles and color styles, there's so many.
And that could be their whole personal story. Is the story of how they go from being this recluse race to realizing that they are forced to help us fight Mordremoth.
Yeah, and that would fit.
And then we have 6 races against 6 dragons, even though there's 5 left.
That'd be so good. Because that would just fit so well into a new campaign. It'd be awesome. Because maybe like if you play as a Tengu, it'd be like the first 20 levels would be different. Because obviously, coming from the other ones, you're like Pact Commander and stuff like that. If you made a character with this new campaign, the first 20 levels wouldn't be treating you like that, and it would be like. But then that brings us into how they'd implement all of this stuff and whether you'd be instantly level 80 or whether you'd have to level up through.
Expansion.
I think I know why.
Which they could totally do, because I mean, like they like have like that like hero class in like WoW of like the Death Knight, where like you like start at level 55.
Yeah. So they can start you like halfway through. You
could totally do stuff like that with like the Tengu don't have to, like they could even have like a special like 1 to 20 ethnic story, and then like from there on they go to like the other normal leveling that you would do as any other race.
Being fair as well, I mean, in Guild Wars 2, apart from progressing through the story, there's no real reason to level anyway. Like once you're at cap, your stats are balanced. The stats you're scaled around and all this stuff. Like there's not. Say if they put the level cap to like 100 or something, and say the new races started at 80. It wouldn't really make much of a difference, like you're still progressing that way upwards and stuff like that. But I don't know, I just level don't really matter too much. You're still around for different things. It's like all the weapons and stuff like that are kind of balanced enough and stuff, especially in things like PvP where everything's scaled like appropriately and evenly and stuff. I don't know, it'd be interesting. Maybe if you finished that wouldn't either, doesn't matter.
And then Necros get great swords.
Yes, please. Oh my god, please, that'd be so cool.
I think that is a good place to leave it, because we are over an hour. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please check out Akasaurus on his YouTube channel and on his Facebook page, and Corvus on his Corvus Plays YouTube channel. He just put up a hilarious video of a bunch of Kodan screaming and running around in Lion's Arch.
They came out of nowhere. I actually had a heart attack. Like it's like they all started at once.
It's quite horrifying.
It's crazy.
Alright guys, all the links are down in the description, and give us a like and a subscribe if you enjoy the show. And we will see you next time with hopefully 4 people. And hopefully everybody will have internet.
You shall disprove the theory of Corvus and Alex are the same person. So.
Yeah. Corvus will break into 2.
just like the Dark Crystal. So one is the Skeksis, one is the Mystics. Alex would be a good Mystic one, I think. She's a Sarah.
And I'm creepy as anything, so I can be a Skeksis.
Alright guys, we will see you next time. Bye!
Yeah.